If you're looking for additional Regents exam info, then jump onto your computer and log on to regentsreviewny.net. It's the official website for the series, and it's loaded with test prep resources that are guaranteed to cure those Regents exam blues. Video clips, test-taking tips, exam schedules, and a host of links to other Regents resources. It's all here. And don't forget, all of the programs in the series will be available for streaming on the site once the television broadcast schedules are complete. So what are you waiting for? Increase your chances for a better score on test day. Regents Review 2.0, the next generation of Regents exam prep. Regents Review 2.0 is made possible by New York State Teacher Centers, providing professional development for teachers by teachers. New York State Teacher Centers, a source for teachers and a promise to students. And by NYSIT, representing 600,000 professionals in education and healthcare. And by contributors to your PBS station from viewers like you.
Our last problem for today is from Major Cluster Emphasis number 8. It says we need to build functions that model relationships between two quantities. Our problem is to write an explicit formula for a sub n, the nth term of the recursively defined sequence below. Our sequence is a sub 1, the first term, equals x plus 1, and a sub n, each term after it, equals x times a sub n minus 1, which is the term before it. I think the trickiest thing here is understanding that that notation, that a sub n minus 1, just means the term before it, the previous term. So I always have my students read it that way, x times the previous term. It seems a little less scary. Okay, let's find the pattern in this so we can write an explicit formula for it. So our first term, we're told, is x plus 1. Let's find our second term. Our second term is x times the previous term. So x times my previous term is x plus 1. Okay. My third term, well, the rule is take x times the term before it. So it'll be x times the term before it, x times x plus 1. Well, let's clean that up a little. X times x is x squared times x plus 1. Okay, I feel like I'm seeing a pattern, but I want one more, just to be sure. So the fourth term in this is x times the term before it. Well, here the term before it is x squared times x plus 1. Clean that up, and we get x cubed times x plus 1. Okay, so we need to find the pattern. Well, let's look at these results. Here I have x plus 1, and in fact, I have an x plus 1 in all of my answers. So that's nice. I know that's going to be part of my explicit sequence. The next thing that I notice is happening is that the exponent on the x outside is a value that's 1 less than the term number. So on my fourth term, I have x to the third. On my third term, I have x squared. On my second term, I have x to the first. It's just we don't write that 1. And on my first term, I have x to the 0, which is 1. So we don't even see that. So I feel like this formula must have, or this sequence must have an explicit formula that would be a sub n, any term in my sequence, is equal to x to the, that number is 1 less than the term I'm on, so it'll be n minus 1, times that common piece in all of my answers, x plus 1. So the explicit formula, the one-line formula, a to the n, a sub n equals x to the n minus 1 times x plus 1. And the next part of this asks you, for what values of x would a sub n equal 0 when n is greater than 1? So we need to substitute 0 into a sub n and solve that equation. So 0 equals x to the n minus 1 times x plus 1. Because we're multiplying, it's as if we factored, set all of your factors equal to 0. So we have x to the n minus 1 equals 0, and x plus 1 equals 0. This is my easier side. If x plus 1 equals 0, x must be negative 1. And over here, you could certainly take the logarithm of both sides and swing that exponent down front to solve it. But I think what's easier is to just understand the only way you'll ever get a 0 out of anything that has an exponent on it is if your base is 0. So here, x must be equal to 0. So when x is 0 and x is -1, your a sub n term is equal to 0. Okay, that is the end of that problem. The last thing I'd like to do is to talk to you a little bit about preparing for your exam. Of course, the first thing you want to do is get a good night's sleep and eat a great breakfast. Also bring in your supplies. Bring in some extra sharpened pencils, good erasers. Make sure you bring pens for the multiple choice part. And if nothing else, remember what I said earlier, make it a treasure hunt, not an obstacle course. Do the easy problems first and save the time for the harder problems. Thank you for joining us, and best of luck to you on your exam.